Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the latest financial results from Network 18 Media and Investments Limited. They're a significant player in the Indian media landscape.
That's right. Network 18 operates a diverse portfolio spanning television, digital content and e-commerce. You'll know brands like CNN News 18, News 18 India, Money Control, First Post, and they also hold interests in ventures like Book My Show. Plus, historically, they had a major stake in Viacom 18, which runs channels like Colors and MTV, but as we'll see, there's been a big change there recently.
A big change indeed, and that seems to be the defining story in these results. So let's get into the details. These are the audited financial results for the quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board approved these results on April 18, 2025.
Correct. And importantly, we have both the standalone results, just for Network 18 Media and Investments Limited itself, and the consolidated results, which used to include subsidiaries like Viacom 18, but now reflect a different structure. We need to look at both to get the full picture.
Absolutely. Let's start with the standalone performance for Network 18. How did the top and bottom lines look for the quarter and the full year?
Okay, looking at the standalone figures first. For the fourth quarter ending March 31st, 2025, revenue from operations was 521.76 crore rupees. That's actually slightly down from 535.00 crore rupees in the same quarter last year.
A small dip in the quarter. What about the full year?
For the full fiscal year 2025, standalone revenue was 1,896.21 crore rupees, which is up from 1,817.73 crore rupees year over year. So annual revenue saw some growth.
Got it. Now, the crucial part, profitability on a standalone basis before any unusual items.
Right. Before exceptional items, the picture isn't great. For the fourth quarter, the loss before tax was 69.48 crore rupees, which is wider than the 31.27 crore rupees loss in the fourth quarter of the previous year. For the full fiscal year 2025, the loss before tax, again before exceptional items, was 284.85 crore rupees, also wider than the 250.52 crore rupees loss last year.
So operationally, on a standalone basis, the losses actually increased year over year. But I see a massive exceptional item here. What's that about?
Yes, a huge one on the standalone side. They reported an exceptional gain of 3,498.21 crore rupees for the year, primarily booked in the fourth quarter. The notes explain this relates to the Viacom 18 restructuring. Specifically, the sale of shares held in Indiacast Media Distribution Private Limited and the impact of Viacom 18 ceasing to be a subsidiary and becoming an associate. It seems the fair value gain on the retained investment and the sale proceeds exceeded the book value significantly.
Wow, okay. So how does that exceptional gain impact the final standalone profit after tax or PAT?
It completely flips the script. After that massive exceptional gain, the standalone profit before tax for fiscal year 2025 jumps to 3,213.36 crore rupees compared to a loss of 250.52 crore rupees last year. The profit after tax follows suit, landing at 3,213.36 crore rupees for the year versus a loss of 185.41 crore rupees in fiscal year 2024.
So an operational loss turned into a massive reported profit purely because of that exceptional gain on the Viacom 18 deal. What about standalone earnings per share or EPS?
Reflecting that exceptional gain, the standalone basic EPS for fiscal year 2025 came in at 20.84 rupees, a huge swing from a negative 1.20 rupees last year.
Okay, that's the standalone story. Operational losses widening but overshadowed by a massive exceptional gain from the Viacom restructuring. Now, let's switch to the consolidated picture. How does that look, especially given Viacom 18 is no longer consolidated for the full period?
It's a very different story on the consolidated side, largely due to that deconsolidation. Consolidated revenue from operations for the fourth quarter was 561.32 crore rupees. This is drastically lower than the 2,419.28 crore rupees in the fourth quarter last year, clearly showing the effect of Viacom 18 not being fully included.
And the full year consolidated revenue?
Similar trend. For the full fiscal year 2025, consolidated revenue was 6,887.92 crore rupees, down significantly from 9,297.45 crore rupees in fiscal year 2024.
Okay, revenue is down sharply due to the deconsolidation. What about consolidated profitability before exceptional items? Did Network 18's share from the now associate Viacom 18 help?
Yes, there's a positive contribution now. The share of profit from associates in joint ventures for the fourth quarter was 46.48 crore rupees compared to 15.51 crore rupees last year. Before exceptional items, the consolidated loss before tax for the fourth quarter was 19.03 crore rupees. This is actually a much narrower loss compared to the 196.85 crore rupees loss in the fourth quarter last year.
Interesting. So the operational loss at the consolidated level actually reduced year over year in Q4. How about the full year?
For the full fiscal year 2025, the consolidated loss before tax, before exceptionals, was 335.29 crore rupees. This is also an improvement compared to the 388.99 crore rupees loss in the previous fiscal year. So operationally, at the consolidated level, things looked a bit better year over year, likely helped by Viacom 18 becoming an associate instead of a consolidating subsidiary drag perhaps.
But there's an exceptional item on the consolidated side too, and I see it's a loss here.
Exactly the opposite of standalone. The consolidated results show an exceptional loss for the year of 1,435.79 crore rupees. This loss arises from the same transaction, deconsolidating Viacom 18 and selling Indiacast. The notes explain this represents the loss on derecognition of the net assets, including goodwill and non-controlling interests of the subsidiaries, offset partially by the fair value of the investment retained in Viacom 18 and the Indiacast sale consideration.
So the same deal leads to a huge gain standalone, but a huge loss consolidated due to accounting treatments like goodwill derecognition. How does this impact the final consolidated PAT?
It makes the consolidated bottom line look very weak. After factoring in the exceptional loss, the consolidated loss before tax for fiscal year 2025 balloons to 1,771.08 crore rupees compared to a loss of 388.99 crore rupees last year. The consolidated loss after tax for the year ended up at 1,776.67 crore rupees, significantly worse than the 324.59 crore rupees loss in fiscal year 2024.
A massive consolidated loss. What does that translate to for consolidated EPS?
The consolidated basic EPS for fiscal year 2025 is negative 11.02 rupees compared to negative 1.35 rupees last year. The loss attributable to the owners of the company was 1,687 crore rupees for the year.
Wow. So, a stark contrast. Standalone boosted by a massive gain, consolidated hammered by a massive loss, all from the same core event. What does this tell us about profitability margins?
Well, operationally, both standalone and consolidated are running at a loss before exceptional items. The standalone operating margin for the year was negative 14.89%. The consolidated operating margin before exceptionals also reflects a loss, though it improved slightly year over year. The exceptional items completely distort the net profit margins, making standalone appear highly profitable and consolidated deeply unprofitable for the year.
Let's quickly touch on the balance sheet. Any major shifts, particularly reflecting this Viacom deal?
On the standalone balance sheet, the big change is investments under non-current assets jumping to 5,556 crore rupees from about 2,073 crore rupees last year. That clearly reflects the reclassification of the Viacom 18 stake to an associate investment at fair value. Consequently, standalone equity shot up to 4,671 crore rupees from 1,446 crore rupees, driven by the exceptional PAT gain. Debt levels seem relatively stable.
And consolidated balance sheet?
That shrunk significantly due to the deconsolidation. Total consolidated assets are down to about 8,497 crore rupees from nearly 39,881 crore rupees a year ago. Consolidated equity also fell sharply to 4,808 crore rupees from over 28,200 crore rupees, reflecting the huge loss and the removal of non-controlling interests. Borrowings on the consolidated books also reduced significantly to 2,787 crore rupees from 7,316 crore rupees, again due to deconsolidation.
Makes sense. How about cash flows? Any highlights there?
Standalone cash flow from operations was positive at 11.86 crore rupees for the year, though down from 124.73 crore rupees last year. Investing activities saw a small net outflow. Closing cash is quite low at 1.83 crore rupees. On the consolidated side, cash flow from operations was deeply negative at minus 1,912 crore rupees for the year, although that's an improvement from the negative 6,465 crore rupees outflow last year. Investing activities generated a net inflow this year due to large investment sales. Financing activities also saw inflow mainly from borrowings. However, there was a massive negative impact from on desubsidiarization, demerger of nearly 4,949 crore rupees. End result, consolidated closing cash is also very low at 2.72 crore rupees.
So weak operating cash flows, especially consolidated, and very low closing cash balances. Now, did the company provide any segment-wise performance breakdown?
They mention in the notes for both standalone and consolidated results that the company operates primarily in a single reportable segment, media operations. So, unfortunately, no further breakdown is available to analyze specific parts of the business like digital versus broadcast, for example.
Right, so summarizing the performance, operationally loss-making standalone losses widened slightly, consolidated losses narrowed slightly. Revenue trends diverge due to the deconsolidation, and the entire narrative is dominated by these massive opposing exceptional items from the Viacom 18 restructuring.
Precisely, that transaction is the key event impacting these financials.
Now, crucially, what did the auditors say? Any red flags, qualifications, or concerns raised in the audit reports, especially given the complexity?
This is important. Both the standalone and consolidated audit reports were issued by Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP. And for both sets of results, they have issued an unmodified opinion. This means they believe the financial statements give a true and fair view and are free from material misstatement, prepared in accordance with accounting standards.
So, clean opinions despite the huge exceptional items and restructuring?
Yes, they do include standard paragraphs, like noting that the fourth quarter figures are balancing figures derived from the full year audited figures and the reviewed 9-month figures. For the consolidated report, they also mention their reliance on the work of other auditors for certain subsidiaries, associates and joint ventures, which is standard practice for large groups. But crucially, there are no qualifications, adverse opinions or emphasis of matter paragraphs highlighting major concerns. This suggests that, while the transaction was complex, the auditors are satisfied with how Network 18 has accounted for it.
That's a significant positive, indicating the accounting treatment, though complex, passed auditor scrutiny. So what's the outlook here? Any final thoughts or risks?
Well, disclaimer first. Always consult with a certified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Operationally, Network 18 remains challenged and is still reporting losses before exceptional items. The media industry is competitive and heavily reliant on advertising cycles. The big strategic shift is Viacom 18, moving from a subsidiary to an associate. How that relationship evolves and the contribution from Viacom 18 will be key going forward. The clean audit opinions provide some comfort regarding the reporting quality despite the major restructuring. Key risks remain around turning the core operations profitable, competition in the media space, and macroeconomic factors impacting ad spends.
Right. So wrapping it up, Network 18's fiscal year 2025 results are a tale of two cities defined by the Viacom 18 restructuring. Standalone reports a massive profit thanks to an exceptional gain. Consolidated reports a massive loss due to an exceptional loss charge and deconsolidation effects. Underlying operations remain loss-making, though the consolidated operational loss did narrow slightly year-over-year. Cash flows, especially operating, look weak. It operates as a single media operations segment. Importantly, despite the complexity, the company received clean, unmodified audit opinions for both standalone and consolidated results.
That sums it up well. A complex year dominated by strategic changes, with very different outcomes reported on the standalone versus consolidated books due to accounting rules, but underpinned by ongoing operational losses and clean audit reports.
Definitely a lot for investors to digest there. Thanks for breaking that down.
My pleasure.
And for everyone listening, if you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive.